all of my phones, everything off. I turned it all to do not disturb. No sound can come out of my phone. And then I forgot after work to fix it. So my alarms went off, but quietly. Very, very, very quietly. And then right before I was about to go on a few minutes ago, my cat jumped up and turned off the computer and spilled my coffee. My whole mouse pad is full of coffee. It smells like coffee here. All right. So we're that's better. Hi guys. Hi guys. Happy birthday, Jen. I hope you have a great, great, great birthday. You're not supposed to give out gifts on your birthday, but thank you so much, Sophie. I have to see who got it. Citizen. Ah, another Nan. When is enough? We got another Nan. Nan's Suluk. Siluk. Shiluk. Come and say hi to us in chat someday. You can say hi to Nan. Oh man, they're still coming. It was good. It was good. It's a good place for me. It's very good all around. It's really, really good all around. Except the last place I was at, I had free beer. I don't have that anymore. I think I might get free popcorn if I wanted it, which is a big deal. Popcorn is delicious. All right, let's go to her because she has great hair. And we have audio. It's important.
Record for the third review and a permanency planning hearing as it relates to dad, and a second review second review for dad, third review for mom, and permanency planning on the case as a whole. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Nicole Underwood, lawyer, guardian ad litem for the minor child.
Ms. Saja Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Moore?
Macy Moore, foster care worker with Catholic Charities.
Michael Brooks, I represent the father, Matthew Wright. Mr. Wright?
Matthew Wright. Father. Mr. McFarland, representing mother, please introduce yourself.
Christina Lemley, mother to Kenzie.
All right. Great. Okay, well, Ms. Underwood, let's start with your comments.
Your Honor, I was able to visit with the minor child in person yesterday at the home of the placement. This is the third or fourth time I think I've seen her in her placement, so she's becoming more familiar with me, and it was nice to see her walking and trying to talk and just being more of a toddler than a baby at this last visit.
Hi, Wendy.
She brought me a book and we sat down and read it. She was able to point at the animals that I was asking her to point at, and just overall turning into a really bright young girl. Her needs are certainly being met at her placement. They are continuing to provide her consistency, stability, guidance, providing her any medical care she might need. They are also going all the way up to Ms. Lumley at least once per week, doing all of that transportation for visitation, which is, in my opinion, going above and beyond what they have to be doing, but they are still continuing to do that in order to foster mother-child bond. But overall, I believe that her placement continues to be the least restrictive and in her best interest at this time. Thank you.
Okay. All right, testimony today, Ms. Thomas.
Your Honor, today, I'll start with Ms. Moore today. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Moore, is it possible for you to use your camera while you're testifying today?
I
Is there a reason why?
I can attempt to. I'm actually out of town on vacation. I'm just worried that will affect my audio.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for the explanation, and thank you for joining us even though you're on vacation.
Please raise your right hand.
Yep, it's raised
Thank
whenever
you.
you're ready.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Ms. Moore, you've prepared a court report for today's hearing, and it looks like it includes some ICWA documentation or follow-up, the non-medical immunization waiver that we've been waiting for, and also a copy of the psychological report from Ms. Lemley that we've been waiting for, and then a DNA, I guess, no-show report for Mr. Wright. Are there any other documents that you've circulated since providing this report to the parties and to the court?
There is not, no.
Okay, and to the best of your knowledge, are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to the report or any of the documents?
Yeah, I only have a couple updates. So I had texted Matthew, still attempting to schedule a face-to-face meeting with him last week, and he responded back to me pretty late on Friday night, and I started vacation yesterday. So I will, once I return to office, get that ball rolling again and hopefully get something scheduled. And then my other update is the last thing I heard regarding Christy is that she was still waiting to be scheduled for orientation for work. So she has not quite started as far as I'm aware. And then Christina also petitioned to get her rent pushed back to May 11th to where she'll have to pay it on May 11th. And then also petitioned to get her rent lowered, but I believe we do not have an answer back from the Odyssey House yet on that.
Okay. Okay, thank you for those updates. During this review period, how would you describe the parents' level of compliance with and benefit from their case service plans?
I would say Matthews is non-compliant. I have attempted to schedule multiple face-to-faces with him, and he'll schedule the appointments and then not show up, or just read my messages and not respond for days on end. Christina's engagement has been really good. Everything still kind of lies with the Odyssey House, as she still has quite a couple months until completion of the program.
Okay. And generally speaking, at this point in time, what would be the risk of harm to the child if the child were to be returned to either parent's care and custody today?
For Matthew, it would be risk of homelessness, insufficient income to meet needs, potential substance use, potential exposure to domestic violence. For Christina, there's homelessness in a way because she's still in the program and that gives her housing, but it's not secure, ongoing, forever housing. And then there would also be exposure to income mismanagement as well there, as Miss Lumley does not have the job or started the job yet.
Okay. Now that the report for the psychological is finally here, are any of the recommendations still outstanding?
I do not believe so off the top of my head.
Okay. The parenting time is still structured and supervised, is that correct?
It's supervised when it's not at the Odyssey House. So we do unsupervised when it's at the Odyssey House, and then in the community is when we supervise.
Okay. And Odyssey House is part of the substance abuse treatment program?
Yes, that's where she's currently staying.
Okay. And do you know if she, by any chance, is she still completing the random drug and alcohol screens?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. And still engaged in individual therapy?
Yep.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, do you believe that her therapeutic goals have addressed taking inventory of prior behaviors and relationships that have led to an abuseful or an abuse or neglected environment for her children?
I believe we're kind of in the middle of it. I don't think we've gotten over the hump. I think we're kind of at the top of the hill waiting for the roller coaster.
Okay.
Yay, Kit Kat. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And then parenting classes, has that been completed?
It has not been completed through us. We made a referral for Wells Springs in Jackson, and they were unable to assist with the case. So I had reached out to the Saginaw Wells Springs, and I have not heard back, and I will follow up when I return.
Okay. And do you know if Miss Lindley, if her services are also addressing domestic violence and other relational patterns?
Yes, she is. I believe she does at least weekly domestic violence, like groups, if not more.
Linus, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. My late fee.
All right.
You're
And
gonna need
then
a
I
bigger
know that the
wallet.
last hearing, there, I want to say there was a request to suspend Dad's
Yay,
parenting time, and then I believe the
Monica.
court had stated
Yes.
we would need
14 months.
guidance from a therapist, perhaps Miss Brene Moore. Do you have any update on that?
I do not have any update on that. I had referred Matthew and Kenzie to Brene Moore for their reintroduction visits, and Matthew has failed to engage.
Okay. And to the best of your knowledge, as it relates to the ICWA stuff, it looks like the BIA just said there's not enough information. Has any information, new information come to light that it would be necessary to resubmit
Hi,
the
Martha.
inquiry to any specific tribes?
No, I don't believe so.
And is there anything that you would like the court to know about how things are going with the case or how the child is doing?
Nope, that is all.
Okay, thank you. With that, Your Honor, I have no further questions of Ms. Moore and would move to admit the court report with the attachments.
No objections.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. They have received questions for this witness, Mr. McFarland.
I do. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Hi,
My
Terry.
client informs me that she is obtaining part-time employment beginning tomorrow at 20 to 30 hours per week. What does she have to do to provide verification to you, such as submit a copy of a paycheck stub, or
Yep,
what does she need?
exactly. Submit a copy of the paycheck stub, and I'm good if she does it about once every month.
So she can just snapshot a photo to you?
Yep.
Okay.
Kit Kat,
So that's
thank
at Home
you.
Depot,
Thank
so
you.
that's what she's going to be doing. Next, she has a potential roommate, or actually here in the courtroom. If she wants to have residency there, does this person need to be checked out first through you, or what's the process?
Yes, we would do like a check on them, make sure they don't have any worrisome background or charges in their background.
And then do you also do a walkthrough of the potential residency also?
Yes, I would do a home visit with Christina in her residence.
So she should, when do you return so she can reach out to you about that?
Derry.
I
Sorry.
return back on
Thank you,
office
Kelly.
9
Thank
a.m.
you,
on
thank
Tuesday.
you, thank you.
Okay. I understand that the supervised visits are at the library in Ann Arbor, am I correct?
Correct.
With the weather becoming nicer, we hope, come May, what are the odds of perhaps having a less enclosed, like a park or something like that? for
Oh,
visits?
I'm not opposed to that at all. That would probably be nicer for all of us.
Okay. And what about at the Odyssey House? If it's supervised, if a supervisor
Damn.
would,
I don't, in a heartbeat, I would accept. I don't think there are any clips to play. Like, Webster, you're talking about Webster, right? Play Webster? I don't think she keeps her clips up. And it's been a hot minute since I've recorded a Webster docket. Let me look real quick. See if she has any clips up. There she is. No. This is her. Right? 13th Judicial? I'm pretty sure it's her. Yeah, she doesn't keep them up. But let me turn notifications on. I will get some for you. For this week. Easy peasy.
let's say, walk with them on the ground, something like that, as long as there's somebody present? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Looking at the future for visitation, if she has a suitable residence, is that someplace that we could look at down the road as far as having supervised visits there?
Yes, we could look into that, but I would also need to be looking into transportation as well.
Okay. What's the impediment for unsupervised parenting time right now? And if it still exists, what would we need to do to start unsupervised parenting time?
So, as I said at the last court hearing, my concern is once
Bless
she
you, Judge.
leaves the Odyssey house and there's not anybody watching her every move, basically.
Maria,
so that's my
thank
main
you.
concern is that once
Thank
she
you
is
so
out of
much.
treatment, that we could take steps backwards or whatnot. So that's my major concern is the time after she gets out of treatment.
Diva.
Okay, well, I
Diva.
guess you could do with a drug test before the visits. That would also satisfy that.
We would
thought.
not get the results of that drug test back in time.
True, but you would know what a person looks like if they're high, correct?
Hopefully,
No.
yes.
No, absolutely not. You can't just. We're not going to do drug tests anymore, guys, on parents. We're just going to look at them. Yep, they look high. Oh, nope, they don't look high. Idiot.
You would not let somebody have a visit if you thought they were under the influence of any type of substances, correct?
Correct. I would not do that.
Okay. Is that something that might be explored in a family team meeting, how to expand that down the road?
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I think our main focus right now was expanding, making it easier on the child was our kind of what I understood from our last family team meeting was that was our main focus at the time.
Okay, well, the goal is still
to
reunification,
sleep.
correct?
Correct.
Tona, go to sleep.
I know the purpose of my client wanting me to ask these questions is so we can keep advancing forward, not just the same routine. So that's the reason I'm asking this. As far as the case service.
Yep, it's definitely, absolutely, 100% her fault that we're stuck in this routine. Absolutely, yes. We have to figure out how she should do her job differently because we're stuck in a routine. I don't like this lawyer. This lawyer's getting on my last nerve right now.
Service plan, is she focused where she needs to be on the case service plan?
Yes, I would say so.
She tells me that we have somebody from the Odyssey House here to testify that she's progressing under the goals established by the psychological evaluation. Would you agree that she's progressing
Yes, I would.
as you would expect under the case service plan per the psychological evaluation?
Yes, I would.
Is her focus where it needs to be right now under the case service plan?
That's a loaded question. It's kind of hard for me to answer. I think her focus is good because she is focused on getting healthy, getting better for her child, and everything like that. So I would say yes.
I hear some hesitation. Is there some question about her progress, or when you said it's a loaded question?
I think it's just a loaded question. I don't know exactly how she's thinking, but the only hesitance that I thought on my end was just more so what's in Kenzie's best interest rather than what's in Christy's best interest.
Well, what is mom asking for that you see is not in the best interest of reunification for the child?
It's not necessarily best interest of reunification, but like just what comes to mind is she's hates being in the car, and that's a big issue. So that's something I wanted to address.
So how often, well, you mean for the visits in Ann Arbor or the visits at Odyssey House?
Well, she just doesn't enjoy being in the car that much. She's a young child.
Okay, so do you have a way that you could transport mom rather than transport the child?
I don't think that would be feasible for us because that's a whole entire day
You are single. Go get him.
of work.
Mr. McFarland, please shut up.
That would be my whole
Kit
9
Kat
to
said
5
so.
was
Just
driving back
shut
and
up.
forth.
Who drives the child right now?
It's either the placement or the agency.
Have you thought about meeting someplace in the center if she can't find transportation? Or,
That's what we've been doing in Ann Arbor.
okay, that's what I wondered.
So we are on the right track.
Excuse me, lawyer, why don't you go pick the child up? Why don't you
If
do it?
Mother, what period of
Maria,
time would you
thank
need
you.
for her to
Thank you,
demonstrate
Maria. Thank you.
sobriety and residency and work to consider placement of the child with her, which may alleviate this?
12 months.
Are you saying after she is out of the program, like on her own?
Well, I guess, does she necessarily have to be out of the program if she has independent living, if she has a job, if she's demonstrated no regression back into drugs? Does she necessarily need to be out of the program to have the child living with her?
I'm not sure. Yes, I would say.
Maybe I didn't phrase that correctly, but when you say yes, what do you mean by yes?
Not no.
I'm confused by your question, I guess, if you could rephrase it.
Sure. Part of what might relieve the transportation of the child would be if the child could live with mother. So if mother has stable living arrangements, stable employment, has maintained sobriety from any controlled substances, maybe if she's still in the program but has demonstrated that, how long do you need for her to demonstrate sobriety in order for the child to live with her if these conditions have been met?
18 months.
Well, I guess it would depend when all of the conditions are met, but I would say 2 reporting periods, 6 months, 6 to 9 months. But all of those things have to be met.
Okay, thank you. I'll be calling my client, so I'll rest with that.
Questions, Mr. Brooks?
No, Your Honor.
Ms.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
All right, Ms. Moore, I've read your report dated April 15th of this year. My client tells me he's looked at it. In a nutshell, basically, it says here that Mr. Wright, the father, has done nothing. Is that a fair summary of what you wrote?
Correct.
Hi, Joanne.
He tells me that
Listen, I was married for 19 years. The father has done nothing is a fair summary of that report.
he's had some trouble communicating with you.
They can't
Is
communicate.
that accurate?
I would say that's inaccurate.
Why?
I have messaged Matthew multiple times, and on Facebook Messenger, you can see when the person reads the message that you send them, and every time I send him a message, he reads it and doesn't respond.
I see. You,
I do
your
the same
office
thing,
is
by the
where?
way.
425 Ormsby Street.
Do you know where my client lives?
I have offered to meet with your client in the Jackson office, Hillsdale office, and Adrian office.
Boom.
Do you know where my
Bitch.
client lives?
The last reported address I have for him was Chelsea. He did not report his new address.
So to the best of your knowledge, he still lives in Chelsea.
I believe so, yes.
Do you know whether he has a car?
I don't believe so, but I'm not 100% sure.
Do you know whether he even has a driver's license?
He does not.
Would you agree with me that if he lives in Chelsea,
Okay, I changed my mind twice right now. This lawyer was getting on my last nerve, period. Then this lawyer, but with Mr. Brooks, we expect it. Like, we expect him, this is going to be annoying. This is going to be painful. We know when he opens his mouth, we got to clench. This guy needs beat down by somebody. Somebody needs to beat him down, like a sheriff or a bailiff. Where are they? I don't even see any bailiffs. I'm sure they're there though. Do you see his like expressions when he's asking a question? his body language, his animation. I'm ready to put something else on, like kittens.
And you're offering to meet him in other mid-sized communities surrounding Chelsea, but not really anywhere near, that this poses a challenge to him, an obstacle.
That's his
Well, I had offered your client
child.
gas cards for transportation assistance, and he had stated that he would be able to make it to the Jackson office.
If I had to go to the Jackson office to see my children living in Pennsylvania, I'd walk. I would be there. I would absolutely be there. Nothing could stop me from going to that office. Definitely not gas.
So I was not aware that it was an issue for your client.
Guardian ad litem, I believe.
A gas card for a car he doesn't own.
Well, if he could have a friend drive him, he could give the friend a gas card.
He got no freaking friends. Look at him. He's an asshole.
Well, again, I'm gonna ask the question, do you agree with me that his current situation, not owning a car and not having a driver's license, at the very least, that
I
could
don't
present
respond.
a barrier to him?
I think not being able to go to an appointment at all for all these reasons is definitely a good reason why you can't be a parent. Because when you're a parent, you have to go to a shit ton of appointments. You have appointments about appointments that you have to go to, whether you have a car or not. So I think that since he can't go to meet the child, there's no reason why he should get the child. Period. Point blank, period.
Participating with you in this case service plan.
Yes, it could potentially have a barrier on that, but that was never expressed to me that that was a barrier.
I have nothing further.
Ms. Underwood, any questions?
I don't know, Kelly. They're all
Ms.
annoying.
Moore, how long does the department expect the placement to bear the burden of the transportation for the child at the once per week visits at the Odyssey House?
The hope is for that to be ending as soon as possible. The hope was for it to end about this month. But I have no for certain date, I guess, without the guidance of the court.
Come on, Judge. Did you hear that, Judge? That's the
Other
state
than
talking.
continued sobriety, what type of progress would you say Ms. Lumley has made over the last 3 months?
She has done a lot of mental health and domestic violence groups that I would say would be a big one. I think her mindset has changed a lot, especially relating to domestic violence.
Okay. Other than what you just found out to be a barrier with Mr. Wright, as far as lack of transportation, is it possible that you could have made progress with Mr. Wright with regular phone contact?
Yes, I text him at minimum once a week, but I shoot for twice a week.
Okay. So it's not just physical visits that you've attempted, it's actual phone contact and Facebook contact that has gone largely unanswered by Mr. Wright?
Yes, he'll sometimes answer like,
Whoa. He said he doesn't have a car. So how is he supposed to send a text message? Come on, state.
3 days later. And I've also sent him all of his referrals via Facebook Messenger as well.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Any redirect?
Just one question. Ms. Moore, I noticed that in the court report, there is not an updated case service plan. Has that been reviewed with the parents during this review period?
I believe we reviewed it with Christy at an FTM last month, but I did not have her sign a new copy because it was a virtual FTM, but it has not been able to be reviewed with Matthew Rett.
FTM? I don't know what an FTM is. Guys, can you help me? I need to move myself for a second. How do you pronounce her name? Nasta. Her name is Nasta Saja. Nastash. Nope, there's that. Nastasia. Nastasia. Somebody will know. Somebody type it phonetically for me.
Okay. And were there any updates at that FTM to the case service plan?
No, there was not. The FTM was mainly focused on parenting time and how we're going to transition to Adrian.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Were there any changes made to the case services plan as it relates to Ms. Lemley?
Nastasia.
No, there was not.
Nastasia?
All right, any additional cross-examination questions, gentlemen?
No, thank you.
No.
Okay, your next witness.
There's
Ms.
an
Thomas.
S. You guys are missing the S right here.
Your Honor, I don't have any other
Nest.
witnesses at this time.
Mr.
Nastasia.
McFarland?
I call my client, if I might.
Sure.
Go ahead, please. Going up there.
Ms. Christina
Oh,
Lemley,
the mom's
one
getting
of
on the
two
stand.
witnesses.
The mom's getting on the stand. I'll shut up. I'm not going to shut up, but
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? There's a step here.
thank you, Maria. I don't think so. She put an S where it was supposed to be, Zach. You skipped
Christina,
the
I
S
know that
completely.
you heard that your child
The
not
first
comfortable
time.
with the transporting, correct?
The second time you put the
And
S
you were telling
in.
me something about moving to Ann Arbor and then coming to Adrian for visits or something? Tell me tell the
Oh,
court
yeah.
what you were trying to express to me.
Nastasia.
So the last family team meeting that we had, which
Kit
involved
Kat, you're missing an S.
Miss Moore,
Nat.
can I call her Aunt Dawn?
Nastasia.
Yeah.
Okay, my Aunt Dawn and myself.
We just
Nas-
don't use the name of the child.
Tasha.
Okay, so we came to
Nastasha.
the conclusion that due to the amount of distance and the amount of time in the car and that she is spending in her car seat, on top of the time having to be spent by her foster family and the, wear and the tear on their vehicles, things like that, going over mileage on a lease, using other vehicles and then wear and tear on those vehicles, that we came to the conclusion that within the next 30 days, we are going to start transitioning my Thursday visits from Saginaw to Ann Arbor, and then my Tuesday visits from Ann Arbor to Adrian, so then I will be responsible to get myself to Ann Arbor and then myself to Adrian those 2 days.
What steps have you taken to make arrangements for that?
I have a friend currently sitting behind you in the courtroom that is willing to assist me with those transportations. On top of, I do have my orientation tomorrow to begin work. So when she is unavailable to be able to get me back and forth, I will be running a car myself to get back and forth.
You have a valid driver's license.
I do.
And would you be asking for her to have a gas card for her inconvenience of assisting you?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
You have read your psychological evaluation, correct?
Mhm.
Is that
Yeah, my,
yes? Oh, hang on, is that
I'm sorry.
yes?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. You wanted to express to the court what you have done to comply with that, correct, through the Odyssey House?
Yes.
Go ahead, this is your turn.
Okay, yesterday morning, my therapist through the outpatient program of Odyssey, we sat down and went like line for line, beginning to end through my psychological evaluation. And because there was a lot of the language I didn't understand necessarily, so she really broke things down for me. And the things in there that were concerning, I feel I have made, massive leaps and bounds with. The ability to have integrity, the ability to take accountability for things. I've made a really massive effort over the last couple of months, especially to, even just reach out to people that I know that I had been telling lies to for long periods of time and correcting those lies and being like, hey, I need to come clean about this. Apologizing to different people that I used to be friends with, my family members, things like that.
I haven't done the 12 steps, but I know she's on a step. 7? I'm going to say 7 because that way you guys can correct me. But if she made it that far, if she made it to that step in AA where you have to go and you have to apologize for things that you've done wrong, that means that she has done the other steps successfully. That means she's working the program really, really nicely. She's doing a good job. I don't know. I don't have to see what they say about her, but just her saying what she said, she's doing a good job. Good job, Mom.
reached out and started communicating with a couple different of my family members that, I no longer communicated with due to my own actions, in my addiction, things like that. So that was what I kind of got was like a major thing into psychological evaluation was just, my inability to be able to be honest, not only with myself, but with other people. And
Might ask the question on that.
Mhm.
Would you be willing to sign a release so that the individual who you're describing at Odyssey House would be able to independently tell your caseworker about the progress under that psychological evaluation as you're describing? Would you be willing to do that?
absolutely, and I do believe she is on Zoom if the court wanted any.
I
involvement with
understand,
that as well.
but if your worker would like to hear her and the particulars, would you be willing to sign a release so she's free to speak to her on that?
Yes, and there is one already filed through the Odyssey program that there's a release of information for pretty much everybody in this room, including my caseworker and everything too. So they are absolutely free to talk to her.
Okay, and you realize that you're also your caseworker, who's your eyes and ears on that case service plan, who needs to speak to this individual so she can make a determination. Do you understand that?
Okay,
Do you understand that?
yeah, now I do.
Okay, employment. You have a job tomorrow, right?
I do, yep, I have the email confirmation on my phone. I go in from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. for orientation at Home Depot. It is starting out a part-time position, but they have guaranteed me between 25 and 35 hours per week. It is $16.50 an hour to start out. I have also volunteered for cross-training.
Steven. Steven, are you a mod anywhere? What chat rooms do you normally hit during the day? Guys, I'm asking this for a reason. I'm asking because Steven is freaking hilarious. So if we know what chat rooms, which dockets he watches, which chat rooms he goes in every day, we can follow him. Because he's very funny. So she's actually starting tomorrow. She's going to get arrested today. Don't worry.
Which if I end up working out.
What's cross training?
So I'm assigned the plumbing department, but once I'm fully trained and everything in the plumbing department, I can cross train into other departments. So then,
More hours?
yep, it'll allow me more hours. Plus, when say I'm there in my department for the day and they're short in another one and need me to cover for a couple of hours, I'll be cross trained with the ability to do that. And after 30 days of that cross training starting and everything and being officially trained in those other departments, I can actually receive a little bit extra wages per hour for working outside of my main assigned department.
Is it true that you told me, is it true in general, that you've explained to your worker your situation and they're going to work around your parenting time and your other Odyssey House schedule? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. When I went in to have my fill out all the information for the background check and things like that and let them know on my availability, I did let them know that I do have visitations with my daughter Tuesdays and Thursdays. So as of right now, I'm not available until after 3 p.m. and they're perfectly fine with that. And then we discussed the fact if that were to ever change or need to be adjusted or anything like that, I just need to keep in contact with them. And Miss Moore told me the same thing, just keep in contact with her if my schedule conflicts and we can work around it.
Have you sent Miss Moore this confirmation of employment?
No, I just
Billiard.
received it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Next, as far as residency,
Mhm.
where's this proposed residency? What community?
It's in Saginaw. It's actually only about maybe half or 3/4 of a mile from where my current address is. It's just across the river.
Okay. And I know the individual's in court, but will you talk to this individual about her opening up her home and her background to be explored to see if it's appropriate through the worker? Will you discuss that with her?
Yep, we've actually sat quite a few days into some quite very lengthy and detailed conversations about it, and she has no issues at all with CPS needing to come in and do like home visits every 30 days. None of that.
You forward her contact information to your worker so the worker can begin that process.
Absolutely. I was just waiting for her to come back from vacation to be able to communicate with her about it.
Well, you can always send an email and she can receive that and it'll be there waiting for her, right?
Okay. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. How do you gauge your progress?
I wouldn't say that I'm a perfect human being at this point, but I know that I am a night and day different human being than what I was a year ago. I know that I now have enough confidence in myself to be able to be out in the community and doing my own thing and be able to make correct choices. I know that I've gained, in the beginning of this, I couldn't have even told you what a core issue was or what a coping skill is. And, you know, I can identify pretty much all of my core issues. I have multiple coping skills to deal with those things. I have relapse prevention plans in place. I have a massive and extremely supportive recovery community and family. You know, I have people that I can call at 2 o'clock in the morning if I'm struggling with something. I definitely have the ability now that when I am struggling or I need help with something, I'm not afraid to reach out and ask for help. You know, there's been many times where I've been struggling with something. Even there's been some times where Kenzie has come up and just not been like comfortable in the situation, things.
That's not me.
Sorry.
No problem.
You know, that she's come up, not really been all that comfortable, and I haven't been able to, you know, soothe and comfort her and things. And so when I started to get a little bit struggled and overwhelmed, I reached out, called my recovery coach and said, you know, hey, can you please come help me? So, you know, she came down to support me and showed me like, okay, you know, let's try this with her. Let's do this types of things with her. And then when it still was to the point where neither one of us really were working, I did reach back out to my aunt and said, hey, you know, we're struggling. Would you be willing to come back so we could continue the visit, get her to calm down? You know, before I would have just like hid that from everybody and things like that. So now, you know, I have the knowledge and the ability and the confidence to be able to reach out for help when I need it.
You say you have a good relationship with your aunt?
Um,
Better maybe?
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, obviously you reached out to her, which is
Mhm.
which is a good step, right?
Yeah.
Anything on the case service plan? I know you've read that.
Jen, I found a clip for you. A birthday clip for you, Jen. But we gotta wait for this to be over.
Mhm.
It's short.
Uh,
It's not really long,
Anything
long,
that
long.
you see that you need help with accomplishing that you can't do on your own, because it's anticipated, as a parent, you're going to be taking the initiative to do things on your own as you have. But is there anything that you're going to need help with?
I think as of right now, I have, and for quite some time now even, have outside of the job in the independent living, which I'm working on, you know, I acquired the job, I'm working on the independent living as we speak. I have pretty much crossed off every single other requirement for me and have for quite some time now, outside of being able to participate and or attend in any like doctor's appointments and things like that.
Okay, would you like the ability to participate virtually with doctor's appointments if that's available?
Yes, absolutely. I think that was what we had discussed last time we were here.
Has that been offered to you?
I have not been made, nobody's come, you know, I usually find out that, oh, you know, she's not feeling good, so she's got a doctor's appointment, you know, like next week, but that's about like the only thing I hear about
Right,
it.
but you've not been able to attend virtually these doctor's appointments?
No, sir.
Okay. And you realize what the court worker and everybody's looking at is exhibiting a period of sobriety, housing, transportation, recovery. It's the long term is what they're looking at right now to make sure you stay on the track. You
Yep.
understand?
And here in another month and a week or so, I'm actually getting ready through my AA and Peer 360 Alliance groups that they are going to be doing a 1-year sobriety ceremony for me.
I was just going to ask that. So you anticipated what I was going to say. That's a good landmark for you, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Have we covered everything major that you want us to cover today?
Yeah.
You're going to share the information with your worker that we discussed here, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
I'll see if anybody else has further questions.
Ms. Thomas, any questions?
I just dislike them giving her tasks to do while she's on the stand. Because you know how, I mean, just to be on the stand for like a criminal act, you're nervous. She's on the stand for her children. If someone gave me a list of tasks that I was supposed to do while I was on the stand, like before my answer was out of my mouth, I would have forgotten what the task was. I hope they wrote this down clearly for her. Because they're going to come back and they're going to say, do you see this transcript? You said this in court on this day. Yeah, but I don't remember that. I was on the stand. Sir?
No, thank you.
Mr. Brooks?
Where do you live?
Currently 614 East Holland Ave, Saginaw, Michigan.
What is the address where your child lives?
I don't know the specific house number, but I know it's Rugit Road.
Mr. Brooks, we're on YouTube, so I would encourage you to maybe avoid.
Yeah,
those
you
specific-
dumbass.
Well, I don't care about addresses. Let's talk about areas, okay?
Okay,
Where are these doctor's appointments at?
I have no idea. I don't know who her medical providers or anything are.
You live in Odyssey House, correct?
Yes, their housing program.
And is this in Saginaw as well?
Yes.
Where is this Home Depot job that you start tomorrow? Again,
Yeah, it's maybe between 4 and 4.5 miles, I believe, from my current address.
okay. And do you know where Mr. Wright lives?
No, sir.
Do you agree he's the father of your child?
Yes.
Say no, say no, say fuck no.
Do you own a car?
No, sir.
Oh, that's a
You
pretty
also
cup.
have support groups you've talked about, is that correct?
Many, yes.
How many of them are in Lenawee County?
None.
Are they in Saginaw County?
Yes, sir.
Did I ask you, do you own a car?
I do not.
But you do have a license.
Same
do.
here, Sherry.
Well, as this case progresses, my question to you is, how do you intend to negotiate all these different places, Palmyra and Saginaw and Lenawee County Court? I mean, how you gonna do all
I guess I don't understand the
that? How you
question.
gonna make those appointments?
As of right now, I have reached out to people within my recovery community and my recovery family and my support systems. Like today, I received transportation from a friend of mine in my community who I gave her gas money and she brought me down here.
What is your plan in terms of how long you're gonna stay in the Odyssey House program?
If this move in which I'm speaking of is approved by CPS, I mean, if they were to prove it today, I could go home and pack and be moving today.
But you don't have a specific location at this point.
Yes, I do. It would be to my friend's address if they approve me moving in with her.
And without talking about addresses, where is that?
It's about,
This line of questioning, I don't understand at all. The dad's lawyer is going after the mom right now a little bit because he's an asshole. He's always an asshole. But the dad's best chance of ever seeing this kid is not getting his own act together because he will never. It's to manipulate her to get to see the kids. But I guess if he wanted to see the kids, then he would. If he wanted to see the kids, then he would see the kids. Right?
half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile, something like that from where I currently live.
Same area.
Yeah, I can walk there in about 30 to 40 minutes. I can walk between her address and mine.
I've read the paper where Saginaw's got some issues with their bridges over the Saginaw River.
It gets a little bit confusing, but the longer I've been there and the better I am at navigating like the city bus system and the nicer it's getting and I am getting out and walking more places.
Your Honor, is there a question there?
Yeah,
Bridges.
I'm just trying to get around to the issues of how this lady is supposed to get from point A to point B and how many different point A's and B's there are. Seems like a legitimate question. You
I didn't know
I mean?
whether it was structural on the bridge or traffic on the bridge or distance.
No, there's tolls problems on the bridge.
All right, I do think we're getting a bit far afield.
I'll move on.
Thank you.
That's Rob.
Do you have any objection to my client seeing his daughter?
Absolutely not. I have always told him, as long as you can be a positive influence in our children's lives, I want nothing more than you to have a part of your children's lives.
You're using the plural. Do you have more than one child with my client?
We have 3.
You have 3.
Mhm.
Where are the other 2?
My mom has guardianship of our oldest 2.
And where does your mother live?
Hillsdale County.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Underwood.
Ms. Bowman, can you clarify, if you were to move in with your friend, would you still be part of the Odyssey House program?
I would no longer be part of, I have successfully completed and graduated residential. The steps to successfully complete and graduate housing is to find employment, and in addition to independent housing on top of mental and substance use stabilization. So if I have this address, that gives me all of my checks on their list. I will graduate and complete their housing program. And if I so choose, I can continue to participate because I'll still be a resident of Saginaw County. I may still participate in their their outpatient program. So I can move out of their housing program and still participate in their outpatient programming, yes.
So is this move a solution to you being unable to pay the rent that Odyssey House is asking you to pay?
No, I did receive, or I did, put in a proposal to be able to get a 30-day extension on my rent and things like that. I'm waiting on the finalization from staff to come back on that, which yes, I am prepared and able to pay that rent. But at the same time, I understand that part of integrating back into society is the fact that I can't stay in the Odyssey housing program forever. I can't live there the rest of my life. I have to be able to stand out on my own 2 feet. So this gives me the opportunity to still have an independent housing that would then be compliant with this case, in addition to the next step in my rebuilding my life in sobriety.
Would you have to pay rent at this new house?
There has been discussion on that detail. We haven't worked out the exact, finalized, how exactly we're gonna, accommodate all of that, or what the final details and conclusions of it are, but there will be some type of arrangement for something.
Will there be a rental agreement to secure housing for a period of time?
Yes.
Why haven't you asked anybody where your daughter goes to the doctor?
I mean, I have kind of a hunch of where she goes. I don't have any kind of confirmation, but at the last hearing, I did bring up the fact that I'm not included in things like doctor's appointments and stuff. And I do believe it was the court's ruling that I'd be given the opportunity to partake in that. And I have not been contacted about those appointments and things.
So my question is, why haven't you asked anybody where your daughter goes to the doctor?
I had been waiting to be contacted to let me know, oh, she's got a doc, I did do the immunization waivers and things like that. And then I asked, what's the next step with this? And then, I've never heard really anything back on when she has appointments, when she doesn't, anything like that.
So Dawn doesn't tell you when the doctor's appointments are for the child?
Usually when I see her this, was it Tuesday, she didn't feel very good. And so,
Yes or no, please. The question was, did she tell you?
Mr. McFarland, is there an official objection there?
There is, Your Honor. She could just directly answer the question. It was, did she tell you? That'd be a yes or no.
Is there a court rule that applies to that objection?
I withdraw that to court. I just thought it'd be more on point for her to be answering the
You
questions right.
shut up,
I'll leave it
asshole.
to Ms. Underwood to.
Good job,
ask for
Judge.
that if she feels it's necessary. You may continue or repeat your question. Whatever you want.
I believe that. I don't even remember the question. to be
It's too
honest.
late for an objection, Maria. I already re-rolled.
Don't you receive
Guilty.
a copy of your
Y'all
daughter's
guilty.
medical passports every 90 days?
no, I've never received one. I don't even know what that is.
So the department doesn't provide you with any appointment information?
No, I don't even know what a medical passport is. I've never heard of it.
You indicated at the last hearing under oath that you didn't think that Matthew was the father of your daughter. Isn't that correct?
I don't know.
Okay, but you just testified today that he is.
I mean, in my eyes and legally on her birth certificate, yes, he is. Is he biologically? We don't know. So I mean, I guess it's kind of a,
Maury. We need Maury.
My last question
Help,
is just going to
Maury.
be, I know the last hearing, the court was pretty clear about progress that you needed to make over this last reporting period. Why did it take up until today for you to obtain employment?
I had been filling out multiple applications. I had gone on multiple interviews, and we kind of, between my recovery coach and I, we kind of came to a conclusion that I was applying for jobs that I like or that I wanted, or I have an associate's equivalent in early childhood development. I did not realize that this case made it so that I was no longer able to be employed in that type of a field. So I was taking interviews and things like that with like childcare, like preschools, things like that. And then when it was like coming to my background and things, I started getting all of my job offers revoked or like pulled. So I did reach out to Miss Moore and asked her, can you please explain to me what me pleading no contest to this case does to my ability to work and things? And she did explain it to me. I said, is this like a forever thing or how does this work? And we finished that conversation. So then I did start looking for other employment.
It's not perfect, but at least we got some of that right, guys. As a society, like people who shouldn't be taking care of children don't often get the job. So I know it's not perfect. I know we still have some taking care of children who are absolutely not qualified to take care of children, but we also block a lot of people who should not take care of children from doing it. So we're doing that right.
Options that weren't maybe necessarily what I wanted, but it was the fact of it's time to be an adult and get a job.
Request denied.
It's been like a month-long process.
Contempt.
From
You
the
just
time
got
that I accepted the
contempt.
interview to
30
going in
days
and
in jail.
filing all of the background check information, waiting for that to come back, getting my orientation scheduled. So I mean, I've essentially had the job for about a month now. It's just I'm officially starting it tomorrow after all of the paperwork and logistics of it.
Okay, and I know I said that was my last question, but I just remembered when I was reading your psych eval, it said that you have all of the classes or hours completed for, was it welding? And all you need to do is take a certification?
Yes.
Have you considered maybe doing that?
My credits are old enough now that they would know I'm outside of the amount of time I would have had to have been able to take the certifications to be able to get certified in welding with the different styles and things like that. It's just, it's been too long since I've taken classes. I would need to, I could go in and probably pull off the certification still after I got my hands on a welder with a little bit of practice time. But if I wanted to go back through, I'd have to go back through and redo all the classes that I did to be able to get those hours back, to be able to take the full certification.
So she brought it up, not me. She brought it up. So listen, I went to an art show on Sunday. Okay, it was outdoors, and one of the first exhibits we went to was this welder. This welder, he had like kitchen spoons. Okay. And he was building these, 5-6 foot outdoor lawn ornament things with these kitchen spoons. And like the spoons were displayed in a way, that he was making these great big flowers on these twisty vines. All right, are you with me so far? Okay. And it was all metal, so iron, I don't know, the whole thing. So he must have welded these spoons together. Okay, all right. Well, they were selling for like $8,000 for like a 4-foot piece of metal made out of kitchen spoons. $8,000, $9,000, $24,000. It was ridiculous. So I turned to my daughter and I'm like, yo, we could do that. We could absolutely do that. We just need to buy a welder, right? So then we're driving down the street. We're talking about these kitchen spoon things, which looked unbelievably gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. If I had like an extra $8,000, I would have bought one on the spot because they were so beautiful to look at, right? But so we're driving down the road. And there was another stand too that had these fountains, these little ponds, these little fountains they made out of stone. They would put the pump up through these long columns of stone. Basalt. Did I say that right? Probably not. Basset. It's a stone. It's a long stone. And some of them were like 4 foot tall and some of them were like real short. Those two, these little fountains, they were like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So I'm like, yeah, girl, we could get it. We could weld, right? We can weld. Well, so we're driving around and like no lawn has any ornaments on it. No, driving around Lancaster, taking her to work and back, and We cannot find. Okay, so there's some bird baths, and maybe one of those balls. I do not know how to describe it. It's like shiny, shiny. I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But nobody has these freaking thousands of dollar lawn ornaments on their lawn. So I'm guessing that would be really hard to sell one of those monstrosities once you make it, wouldn't it? Who did any of you own a lawn ornament over $1,000 in price? Or even 500. Does anybody here own a lawn ornament that is over $500 in price? Because if people would buy them, that would be worth it. If people aren't going to buy them, how would you find someone to buy it?
Through school again, because it's just been too long of a time.
Thank you for clarifying. No further questions.
Are you still on probation?
No, ma'am, I was discharged December 19th successfully, like 6 months early. My 7411 did stay intact.
All right. What are the connections to the community, the sobriety community that you've developed that are only available where you're living now?
I have a home AA group that I go to on Thursday nights. That I have quite a few, some of my roommates along with quite a few community members, we all go to it. We also socialize outside of that meeting. I'm also attending the Peer 360 Alliance meetings that are just a short walk from my house. I usually attend those at least 5 days a week. They also put on additional events on weekends and things, like they do game nights. We did a big St. Patrick's Day event. They did a big Black History Month event. I participate in the setting up and putting on of these events along with like the cleanup and takedown and everything after the events. I help set up and do like the coffee and bring in the snacks and stuff for, our daily meetings, things like that. And then I also have quite a few friends in other recovery housing programs in the city that, we get together and we'll go out and we'll have lunch, we socialize. If anybody is struggling, we can call each other, things like that. And also during some of these bigger Peer 360 events, I will put up and stay at a resource table for the Odyssey program where, people from the community can come in and take pamphlets
I
and
get the
gain
Peer
info.
360 aspects of it. So you have friends there, you're part of a Peer 360 group, and you have an AA group. Is there a counselor or anything that's working with you?
Yes, I do have I have a recovery coach through my house. I also have one through Peer 360. I have a therapist through my outpatient group at Odyssey that I meet with once a week. On top of, she does a group once a week in addition to the therapy that I go to.
And what of those opportunities change when you move out of where you're living?
If I were to stay in the outpatient portion of Odyssey program, I would still have the ability to meet with Blaine. I would still go to her groups. So really, as far as like the outpatient went, my address wouldn't change anything with that dynamic.
What does change?
Really just my address and no longer being in the housing program. I am looking into getting into C-CAR training as soon as I have the required amount of clean time.
Which is how much?
It depends on what programs you do it through. Some, I believe Peer 360 does theirs at like 18 months. There's another program that you have to have, I think, 2 years. There might be another program that does it at a year. I would have to double check that with.
I'm getting so nervous, guys, because we are over halfway and Dad's not on the stand. Is that Dad? Okay, he's coming. He's coming, guys. Here he comes.
My therapist or my recovery coach.
How many months of sobriety do you have?
Almost 11. The 21st will be 11 months.
Do you intend to stay in the outpatient programming?
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you.
How will
Thank you.
you tackle the transportation to be part of the community that you're in, given the distance?
At my current address, or even if I were to move with this new opportunity, everything is within like a half a mile I can walk to it. I am in the process of trying to obtain either an electric bicycle or a moped. And in addition to that, there is city buses that become able to navigate that system very, very well. And on top of that, I do have recovery coaches and friends within my recovery community that I can reach out to and say, hey, can you run me across town, drop me off at work, things like that.
And do you intend to stay in the outpatient programming?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a cost to it?
I believe it would go through my insurance and things the way that it does now. I'm not 100% on that. You'd have to ask my therapist who's in court today.
Thank you. Questions based on my questions?
Josh, thank you so much. YouTube didn't take
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
55% of that. Thank
Is it fair
you.
to say for the next year, you're looking to stay up in Saginaw where your supports are?
Yes.
Nothing further.
No questions.
Okay. Thank you for your testimony. May I return to your seat?
Thank you.
Anyone else you'd like me to hear from, Mr. McFarland?
I'd like to have 2 questions for Ms. Moore.
For the caseworker?
Yes, sir. Has the minor child been to a doctor, which my client would require notification in the last reporting period?
Yes, she has.
Will we be reaching out to her in the future, allowing her to participate by Zoom?
Yes, we can do that.
Now, I have one more question. With you wish for never mind, my client's already expressed she intends to stay in the outpatient program. Do you support her staying as part of the case service plan in the
You
outpatient
have, Jen.
program
Thank you.
up there
Thank
at
you.
Odyssey House?
I believe I would support that. I would have to talk with my supervisor.
Nothing further?
Okay, anybody else you want to hear from?
No, thank you.
Mr. Brooks, any witnesses?
Matthew Wright.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, sir.
I want to say we are running
Let's
behind.
go.
We did have a 2 o'clock and a 2:30 hearing that was scheduled that we may have to look at adjourning, but I would like to know from our attorneys if this case is if you're gonna have more witnesses, if we need to look for additional time on a different day.
This will be it, and mine won't take long.
I don't anticipate any questions.
I don't know how, but 2 of my 3 children, I'll go this far. 2 of my 3 children almost exclusively use Cash App for everything. Everything. Like, they even take their paycheck and put it into Cash App, not a bank. And I don't, like, I rely on those apps a lot, but I don't live off them. Kids these days live off those apps, not like banks. They use Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, mostly Cash App. And I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I just feel like without a bank, if you don't have a bank account, like, doesn't that make your life harder?
I have no witnesses. Okay, all right, go ahead.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Wright, is this your first time in this courtroom?
No, it is not.
All right. You are familiar with the court report that was recently filed by Ms. Moore, right?
Yes,
Would it be a fair summary to say she's saying you haven't done anything?
yes,
Would it be accurate?
no,
Why?
because I've tried to work with her and numerous times trying to figure out a way to get to these places, and I mean, I can't help it. I don't have a license right now.
Well, she says you don't respond to her emails.
There are times that I don't respond that day. There may be a day or 2 or 3, between those times, but I'm trying to figure out how to better my life too at the moment, and just because I didn't get back to it at that exact moment does not mean I'm not in communication.
She says that there have been programs for you to participate in that you failed to do even a minimal participation.
There was, but they are all not in the towns that I live in, and where I live, Chelsea, that's not like I can just hop on a bus or even a cab. If I was to take a cab, but they had one would.
Do you own
be
a car?
astronomical. I do not.
Do you have a driver's license?
I do not.
Do you have access to friends or relatives who could transport you out of Chelsea into these neighboring communities. I say neighboring with quotes.
Friends, pretty much, I cut all my friends off.
Why? Why is it banned?
Get my
Is
life
it bad?
back on track and figured out, and I don't really have any family left here other than my brother, and my brother does not have a license either.
Brother, what?
My brother does not have a license as well.
I see. To summarize your testimony, and you tell me if I've got it wrong, it's next to impossible for you to get to any of these things.
Without breaking the law, yeah.
Have you made the department aware of this?
I have made Macy aware of this, on a couple of different occasions, yeah.
The caseworker has said that they've offered to get you gas cards. Would that improve the situation at all?
Not really. I mean, I could get the gas cards, but what would I do with them? I mean, I've tried to schedule a couple different rides to these places, but once again, I'm at the mercy of the people I'm asking, you know.
If only we had this giant vehicle that drove around town to take you places where you could just, pay $1 or $2. You get on this giant vehicle and you know what time it's going to be, where it's going to be. So you don't have to schedule or anything. You just go and you get on this giant vehicle that holds like a lot of people, and then it takes you around to where you need to go. If only we had something like that in place in this world.
They say, yeah, they're gonna do it, and then the day
Exactly,
comes where
Sherry.
it's time to do it, and they don't show up or quit answering the phone or, just blow me off. I'm not in control of that.
Now, looking ahead after today, how are you going to improve this situation in the eyes of the court? Which frankly, I'm sure has come to the conclusion you're not even trying.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of at a loss with the only solution I really can think of at this moment. I mean, if I could find a job.
Nan, I remember something like that too. It's just
share a ride
in the back of my
anything
brain.
like that, but it's hard to do without being able to get to places to, go to interviews or anything like that.
Have you considered moving back to, have you considered moving to Lenawee County?
Yes, I have, but
Have you ever lived here?
yes, once.
When?
When all this originated.
Why'd you move to Chelsea?
Okay, Mr. Brooks, I'm just gonna ask you to maybe table this conversation to chat with your client about another time. This is really only about the progress that's been made in the last 90 days. I'd be happy to hear about however this conversation ends and how it would be important for us moving forward at our next review.
Well, I'll concede there's been no progress.
Any more questions for your client?
No.
Any questions for this witness?
Not here.
I have a few. Mr. Ray, how did you get here today?
I begged and pleaded and basically gave $50 to get a ride today.
And have you had any criminal matters in this last reporting period?
Yeah. Since the last time I was in court.
Yes.
Yep.
And what are those?
I got pulled over after I borrowed a car trying to go to work to make money and got pulled over. I had a warrant, so they took me on that, and I spent all of my tax money to pay off the it was fines that I had a warrant for, which were from 2019. Paid them off, and then I had to give the person the money that I borrowed the car from to be able to get their car out of impound. And at that point, I was broke again.
Do you believe you're the biological father of the minor child?
I do, yes.
Why have you not then taken the required or the requested DNA testing?
And once again, it's a ride. I mean, And Chelsea's kind of, I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, really. I mean, Ann Arbor's close, Jackson's close, they're like 20 minutes away, but once again, if you're relying on somebody else and not trying to break the law and do right, but I mean, everybody's not following through on their end when they say they're gonna, kind of makes it harder. So I'm between a rock and a hard place. I mean, I can comply with court, yes, but to do so, I would have to break the law. So it's catch-22 here.
No further questions. Thank you.
He's so full of shit.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
Thank you.
Just
No
go.
further
Get down.
witnesses.
Go away.
Comments in closing, beginning with Ms. Thomas.
Thank you, Honor. It seems that we've been at a standstill in this case for quite some time as it relates to Mr. Wright. And I hear a lot of it's not my fault. However, the actions and decisions he's made in his past have led him to the natural consequences of those as presented today. The agency is responsible for offering reasonable efforts towards the goal of reunification, which includes maintaining that contact, offering the referrals, and assisting with transportation as reasonable and or necessary. And I think that that has been met at this point. And it's also incumbent on the parents to comply with their case service plan and benefit from the case service plan. So I just want to make sure that the focus is on the right person and the right people at this time, especially as it relates to Mr. Wright. As it relates to Miss Lemley, it's great that she continues to make progress in her sobriety and maintain that. I know that at the last juncture, she had also indicated that she was done with her probation. And, you know, I wish her the best in finding that stability and independence as she moves forward. However, it's very questionable on how this is going to look for this child to transition to more parenting time in a sustainable way. I know that Miss Lemley has taken responsibility for stating that she'll either have to pay for a ride or rent a car. And then, you know, if we're continuing to look at reunification, what that might look like to work, manage outpatient treatment, manage daycare and childcare, and do all of those things. And so I am asking for at least I think we're going to be here for a couple more reviews, but I think
All
at least
parents
one
manage
more
that.
to see how that's going to pan out with the new schedule and routine of everyone. But otherwise, Your Honor, we are just asking for if there's going to be parenting time with Mr. Wright, again, that he avail himself to Ms. Moore to make that reintroduction phase. I don't have a good solution or argument about the distance between everyone and the
Okay, that
limitations on
sucks.
transportation. It is a really unfortunate situation. However, the innocent party here is the child. So I just would ask the focus regarding parenting time be on the child and another 90-day review. Thank you.
Comments, Mr. McFarland?
Not objecting to a 90-day review. My client has thought out her situation, has sought all services available, and is progressing under the case service plan. And sounds as though the worker's agreeable with her progression, where she's going. She has a plan for visiting the child.
He's
in
not
Arbor,
trying.
Adrian. She'll address some of those issues. Sounds as though Saginaw is where she is going to get a more intensive program than we could probably get here. So I think she's answered honestly to the court, so we would agree with a review.
Mr. Brooks, any comments?
I would have told you that we're going to have two parents in different counties, a child in the third county, and neither parent has transportation available to them to comply with this court's orders. If we were doing that in the abstract, you, I, Mr. McFarland, everybody who's had experience in these cases would say those people are toast. They can't possibly comply. And that seems to be the
That's not
situation
true.
with my
Shut
client.
up.
I think something needs to change on that. You can't
Yeah,
just say, well,
The dad.
Mr. Wright, make it better. What he's required to do, given his current circumstances, order on impossible certainly would require some sort of heroic effort on his part that I question whether he can comply with. I appreciate the fact that nobody has moved for termination of parental rights in this case, but I can't see where it could go anywhere else in the not too distant future if something doesn't change here. Thank you.
Ms. Underwood?
To be the bearer of the bad news for Mr. Brooks, because I believe that Mr. Wright has done next to nothing. Despite the fact that there are barriers, it shouldn't take 2 or 3 days to return a message. The department has clearly shown their willingness and ability to help with transportation when it comes to parenting time. They've extended that for Miss Lindley. I'm certain they would have done the same for Mr. Wright had he actually made some type of effort, but I haven't seen any effort on his part in the last 10 months that this child has been in care. She's 15 months old. That's 2/3 of her life, and we've seen very little progress. Also asked that there be a DNA test to confirm whether he even is the father of the child, and that hasn't been done. I think it's imperative that we determine who or whether Mr. Wright is the child's father. And if he is, I would request that the goal be changed to termination for Mr. Wright. However, I would understand if the court were to give him one more 90-day review to make some significant strides and to get that DNA test to confirm that he actually is the biological parent of his child. As for Miss Lindley, I'm happy to see that she is still sober. And she has made progress in that regard. However, I do feel like there is a lack of progress when it comes to the employment and the housing situation. I'm glad to see that things are getting lined up now, but there's really nothing confirmed other than what we're hearing will maybe start happening this week. I would ask that the court remain with the reunification goal for Miss Lindley with potentially a dual goal of guardianship or adoption, so that, again, by the next hearing, we will be a year into this case, and this child does deserve permanency and stability, and she is getting that in her current placement. I would ask for a standard 90-day review and that the child be continued in her current placement. Thank you.
Thank you. The court finds all interested parties are given notice for purposes of today's review hearing and permanency planning. I do find the case does have reasonable efforts towards the goal of reunification, spearheaded by Ms. Macy Moore. That includes, of course, the many referrals that she's spoken to on the record and the information contained in the court report. I want to say thank you for ensuring that we did get the Native American heritage information as the court asked specifically for last hearing. So I appreciate that, Ms. Moore, that you took the time to ensure that we have that for the file, as well as that psychological evaluation. I will say that piece that's missing that your client can work on between now and the next review, Mr. McFarland or Ms. Moore, if you want to dig into this, is what, if any, specific attention has been given to Ms. Christina Lemley's progress as it relates to the aspects of domestic violence and child abuse and neglect that were present at the outset of this case. There was a recommendation, as there is always, frankly, in Dr. Haugen's evaluation for specifically a book and a workbook, I think it is, that speaks to abuse and neglect and identifying that and helping parents understand and plot a way forward around that. I don't think it addresses the domestic violence aspects of the challenges that are sometimes associated with use of substances and were clearly associated with the events surrounding the removal of the child and historically between these two parents, as was further detailed in that psychological evaluation. So that's a piece I didn't hear about today. The positive things for Ms. Lemley clearly include 11 months sober as of the 21st and engagement on a lot of the opportunities that she has within her sober community, I'll call it. And I think that she's done a nice job of maintaining her sobriety using those opportunities. We're at a point in the case where we need to see what she's going to do in order to prioritize and incorporate her child into this, rather than just simply requiring the child to undergo the commute that is obviously causing stress both on her placement and on the child. I'm not going to require that this child continue to do that if that helps Ms. Macy Moore understand what the family planning needs to look like moving forward. So as much as I want to simply just celebrate your victories here, Ms. Lemley, we have to remember, as Ms. Thomas reminded us, that the child is the priority here. I need to see further sobriety and development on the pieces of the case services plan that continue to be important, the housing, employment aspect of it. I need the information on the therapeutic interventions and your progress in those areas. And also see you looking at how the visitation is affecting your child and how that affects your bond with that child. Because if the child is now associating visitation with mom with a torturous amount of time in a car, I can't imagine that's going to be good for your parent-child bond. So keep that in mind moving forward. I think it will take at least another review period to see what your developments are going to be, Ms. Lumley, where you're going to end up, what that looks like with regard to where your child is at on that list.
Okay,
I
now
will
do the
say,
dad. Do the
I
dad.
think that
Come
you
on.
continue
Do
to
the dad.
prioritize your sobriety goes a long way towards being a good, responsible parent for that child, whether or not that means that she stays where she's at or she moves with you. And so that's what I'm going to be keeping in mind, and I hope that you will too. Mr. Wright is going to be carried along by the case until and unless we see what happens with Ms. Lemley. He's done very little to advance any progress in all of the identified areas and has not even communicated really with the department. Nevertheless, he will have an additional opportunity simply because Ms. Lemley has made, frankly, very significant progress in the area of sobriety that justifies me continuing the case moving forward on a reunification track at this point. The reunification goal is about the child, not about the parent, so I will not bifurcate one parent with adoption, one parent with reunification, because I think given Ms. Lumley's significant progress, that we still need to leave that door open for reunification between her and her child. The child is placed with relatives, which also sometimes presents additional opportunities for contact. I noticed in the court report that there are some opportunities for some Zoom visits with the child that weren't taken advantage of. So I will be looking at that as well in the future. It's important that this child have a positive bond and look forward to visits and have that relationship established in a way that reflects both education around the challenges that Ms. Lumley's overcome, but also an understanding of child development, child needs, and child priorities. So those are the pieces I'm going to be looking at for progress in the next report period. We will have our next review and permanency planning hearing on July 8th at 11 a.m. Again, that'll be July 8th at 11 a.m. Until then, the child will remain placed with her relatives. That is the safest and least restrictive under the circumstances for all the reasons I've already articulated. The order will
So I think I can get that for tomorrow, guys. I think I can get that for tomorrow. Not a problem. We'll see what happened. We'll see if Dad lost custody. Now, for your birthday, I had a clip ready, and then I clicked to get the link. Hold on. I gotta get the, hold on. I can't believe I got out of it. I'm not stupid. I am stupid. Wait. Yeah, I'm stupid. Oh, it took me like 3 minutes at least to, whoa. All right. That's 40 minutes long. We can't do 40 minutes. We're only going to do a little bit. Just the tip.
Say defendant in court.
Hopefully hopefully, okay. Just so you know, there's this awesome YouTube channel. You guys probably haven't heard of it yet. So I'm going to put the link right here. His name is Bill. He has this channel called American Courts. Oops. And he has Judge Webster and Jen's real husband. So we have a sob sit that he played. This was a bit ago, but we're going to play it today.
security. Now, Miss Phillips, you're charged, we're not on the record yet, but Miss Phillips, you're charged with a tag violation, another form of tag violation,
What?
no liability insurance, and not changing your address. We are set for trial. Are you wanting to have a trial on that, Miss Phillips, or do you want to try to talk to the county attorney
I
and
am Bill.
come to a resolution? What's your plan on
Um,
this, since you're representing
I just
yourself?
assume- I'm sorry, I just assume be done with it. I mean, I can talk to the county attorney. I don't have an issue with that as well. I guess I'm not understanding why you don't have my change of address.
Well,
That
I
was
don't
done
get,
over
I
the
don't
internet.
get that. I don't
Okay.
get that. It goes to Topeka Department of Revenue. It's for your
Well, it
driver's
was-
license.
Yes, well, it was brought in and should have been added to the long time ago when I first got the ticket.
Okay, but it's not like.
I am
insur-
Bill
well,
Henderson.
all right, we'll say that. Right now, we are on the record in 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier appearing for the state. The defendant, Ms. Phillips, appears in person and pro se. Ms. Phillips, I understand that you're wanting to represent yourself on this matter. Is that correct?
Well, I don't have a choice.
Well, you have had
Um,
the opportunity since November 8th of 23 to either.
Yes, ma'am, I
hire an
did.
attorney
To
or
hire an
apply-
attorney.
My favorite thing Judge Webster does is just tilt her head, close her mouth, and just look at you. And then everything is quiet for what feels like 30 minutes. She's just means you said something really stupid.
Nobody wants to take my case.
All right, and if you cannot afford an attorney, you've had
It's
the
not about not affording it.
You've
Because
had
I
the
have
op-
to need a hand to an attorney. Nobody wants to take my case to deal with Butler County is the
All
problem.
right. The alternative, if you could not afford it, you could have applied for court appointed. Am I correctly understanding you to say, though, that you could afford it, you just couldn't find an attorney to
Oh,
take the case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That's
And
exactly what
so,
I'm saying.
all right. And so you're going to represent yourself today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are
Is
we going by common law or admiralty law here?
well, we're going by statutory law in the state of Kansas.
And if
So
this is a trial, why is there no jury?
this is not a jury trial because it was set for bench trial. You didn't ask for a
Okay.
jury trial.
I didn't consent to any of this, but
All right. So you want to proceed with trial, or did you want to try to negotiate an outcome with the prosecutor?
I can speak with the
I remember that,
prosecutor.
Jude. That was great.
Well, I'm not trying to talk you into it. I'm just trying to afford you the opportunity that an attorney would take if he
Yes, ma'am,
represented
I
you.
understand. I understand.
All right. So what is your wish? Do you want, if he's willing to talk to you and if he's willing to consider a negotiation, are you wanting to do that?
Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Now, Mr. Regier, when I ask you this, I don't mean to suggest you have to, or that there'll be consequences if you don't. But as I said, I just want to afford the defendant the opportunity, but that's subject to if you want to do it. So do you want to take the time, or are you willing to take the time to visit with her, or do you think there's any productive outcome possible from that?
Your Honor, at this time, the state would request clarification from the court whether it is fine that the defendant is representing herself and has appropriately waived her right to counsel. Based off of prior statements made on the record today, there does appear to be, if the court will pardon the conjecture, a certain degree of ambiguity on that point, and the state would be requesting a formal finding on the record, which would appear to be most procedurally appropriate.
All right, is the officer still there with you, Miss Phillips?
I am.
Mhm.
Could you provide her with a written waiver of counsel to read?
I can.
Thank you. Let me know when she has that. It's a, basically, Ms. Phillips, I believe you'll find it to be a brief written statement for you to look over to make sure that you understand your rights concerning an attorney and that you know them and that in spite of the rights, you want to waive them and proceed.
Oh, well, I can
But you-
already tell you, no, I don't want to. I'm not going to do that.
You're not going to waive your right to an attorney?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Then what are you going to do? I don't see an attorney.
No, ma'am, you don't, but that doesn't stop me from speaking with the DA if he is more than willing to.
Well, he doesn't want to do it until he makes sure that you are knowingly waiving your rights.
Because then I'm
Um,
giving up a right to speak. Ugh, that makes no sense, Your Honor. True.
Independent of whether you
If you
talk to
want-
him
if
or
you-
not. Do
I'm
you
sorry?
want it, regardless of whether you talk to him or not, do you want an attorney?
Well, he said himself, he didn't want, he wasn't willing to until I signed this waiver,
That's right,
waiving my
because,
right. He
because
didn't
if,
want to speak to me until then.
if you're going to go out and get an attorney, he has to ethically go through the attorney. And that's why he is following his conscience on the ethical issue
Okay,
and his obligations.
this whole thing is an ethical issue, ma'am. See,
You're muted. Deputy Wise, you muted?
That was me. I just explained to her what this waiver meant so that the attorney could talk to her.
All right, well, be careful giving her legal advice. I think it could,
it
I am.
wasn't, it was very simple.
I just tell her
It
about the
was
form.
layman's terms.
okay.
Zach, I didn't because I don't do YouTube judges very often, hardly ever. So I never get to see them. I only do our exclusive judges found only here.
You need me
Well-
to sign this?
Yes, put your name there and sign it there for me.
Only if you believe
I
you
need-
understand. Ms.
Yep,
Phillips?
I understand. Do I need
Oh.
to sign it in my straw man name or my birth name?
Well,
real.
your legal name.
Well, because that's two separate things.
Your legal name is separate from what?
The straw man that the government has created, which is what's on my driver's license.
That's not the name your parents gave you that's on your driver's license?
No, that's not grammarly correct. That is not my given name on my driver's license.
All right, what name did your parents give you?
Tracy Lynn Phillips.
All right, and that's on your birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's not the name on your
The
driver's
one the
license?
government created.
That's not the name on your driver's license? Tracy Lynn Phillips
No,
is not
it's
the name?
not. It's not the same one.
All right, what's the name on your driver's license?
Tracy Phillips.
Just Tracy Phillips? They took off
That
the
isn't,
Lynn?
the one on the driver's license is not grammarly correct, ma'am.
All right, how is it not correct?
It's all in capitals.
Oh,
That's
I
not
see.
grammarly correct.
I see, okay, I see where we're going. All right,
So I need to know, ma'am, am I supposed to put the one that's in all capitals? That's on my driver's license
I want
on
you-
here? And then
I want
sign
you-
it
Miss,
as the entity to Tracy Lynn
I'm about ready
Phillips?
to run out of my patience with you. You need to settle
Okay.
down.
I'm
and
just
be
asking a question. I'm
You're-
just asking a question.
No, you're not. You're not
I'm
just
not
asking a
disrupting
question.
anything. I simply asked a question.
Look, Miss Phillips, you see that officer sitting next to you?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you know I have the authority to tell him to put you into custody until you're ready to cooperate? Now, I don't want to do that, but you're being
I don't-
belligerent and difficult in this court's opinion.
I don't understand what you're wanting from me. I'm really not being difficult.
All
I
right, I
simply
want
asked-
you to
I
stop
simply asked-
talking for a moment. And I want you to tell me, did you read the form in front of you?
Yes, ma'am, I did read the form.
And you signed the form. No, you haven't signed it because you don't know what
I
name
have it
to use.
because I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to, what name, am I supposed
I
to add the
want
ones
you
that's in
to
capitals?
sign, I want
Or
you to
mine.
sign your legal name.
Put your first name up here, or your name up there.
Deputy, please don't help her. I know you mean well, but I'm afraid that it could become a problem for you and her and me both. or all
I just
three.
showing her to where to write her name in the slot. So
I know, but I don't think you ought to be doing that. Thank you. I know you
There you
mean well. All right. So do you have any questions about the document you just signed?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right. And you do know that you can hire an attorney? Yes or no?
I understand.
And do you understand if you could not afford an attorney, you could apply and see if one could be appointed? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And knowing that those two facts, you are waiving your right to counsel and representing yourself today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to counsel today on the record, both in writing and in oral fashion. Now, with that being said, Mr. Regier, I'll just open it up to whether or not you want to attempt any kind of negotiation with her, or if you want to proceed with the trial that we have scheduled and the witness that you have subpoenaed and appears today.
One moment, Your Honor.
Buffering. He's buffering. Give him a second. He's starting the application.
Your Honor, at this juncture, what I would tell the court is that for purposes of resolving this case short of trial, if the defendant pleads as charged to all charges, the state would be prepared to recommend non-reporting probation. The state does not have anything further to add at this time. The state would further be recommending, in addition to non-reporting probation, underlying sentences, court costs, and fines.
All right, Mr. Phillips. That's all he's going to say to you. Apparently, he's not going to meet with you privately.
That's fine.
But he is saying that he would recommend non-reporting probation if you plead as charged. So how do you want to proceed?
No,
Do you want to,
I'm sorry.
you want to proceed with your trial then?
Yes, ma'am.
Very well.
I
Are there any
don't
opening
agree with that.
statements? You don't agree with his offer?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay.
I would like to ask the officer if he has video of that day of me driving.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I know.
In 2023 TR 3395, State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips, all parties appearing as before, Jared Regier for the state. The defendant, Tracy Lynn Phillips, in person and pro se, having signed a waiver of counsel and orally waived right to counsel as well, both on the record. And we are ready to start the bench trial with Master Trooper Kane ready to testify, it looks like. But before he does,
Save it
any
for the
opening
end,
statement,
Zach,
Miss
if you're still
Judge.
here.
Regier?
Judge, can I say one
Yes.
thing? She took back
Go
that,
ahead, Deputy.
she took back that waiver, so that makes a difference.
All right, where's your attorney? Who's going to represent you?
We've already discussed that.
Well, you signed a written waiver. What do you mean you take it back? Do you mean you want to proceed with an attorney? You either have an attorney or you don't, Ms.
I don't know,
Phillips.
Your Honor.
Yes.
This whole thing, I don't even know what to do. I have tried to hire an attorney. I do not want a court appointed. Was thrown under the bus last time. I don't even understand why I have this ticket to begin with.
Well, that, an attorney could help with that,
It's ridiculous.
but you have, I don't recall you gave me any indication before that we were going to have the issues today that we're having.
Because I was never allowed to say anything. There were issues, case in point, going to jail twice on a warrant, Mr. Reiger, that wasn't me. Quite obviously,
Is this still the same case that you said initially back in, a couple of
Why-
years ago, it wasn't you?
why I was initially here when I saw you the first time. Yes, that most certainly wasn't me. I'm not a 6-foot black man.
Okay, all right, Ms.
Apparently,
Phillips.
that's
we
what
need
it
to get
says.
on with- We
That's what
need to
it
get
says on the
on with
warrant.
things.
That's what it says on the warrant.
We need to get on with this hearing one way or the other. You have waived your
I'm
right
gonna
to
find an
counsel
attorney
now.
then.
Well, you will if I continue this to allow you to do so, because this case has gotten some age on it. It's a
Ma'am,
twenty
it has.
twenty-three case.
Yes,
It's a 2023 case. Now, don't talk over me.
just soon be done
Stop.
with it.
Stop. It's a 2023 case. And you failed to appear several times.
No, I did not,
And then-
ma'am. I did not fail to appear.
And we've been through this issue of the attorney for a while now. And by the way, I do show you failed to appear September 4th, 2024, and this is not open to debate or further discussion on that issue. The court's taking judicial notice of its own records. Now, you've had since the first appearance, September 4th, if you'd been here, but we weren't able to get you here until January 8th. And you told us you were going to hire an attorney, but that you were unable to find one apparently. And there was discussion about you filling out an application for court appointed.
I'll be her attorney. I'll do it.
And so all of this, and that was back in January, and then we were going to come back in March, and we did.
She can pay me in kitchen spoons.
And that's when it was set for bench trial. But Mr. Regier, is this the continuation of that first case? Because the notes aren't gelling with what I recall in that other case.
One moment, Your Honor.
He definitely wants to be arresting someone right now. He wants to be out there handcuffing somebody.
I think that was this 2019 case.
I wouldn't
that was
say how.
dismissed. Well, she was dismissed
And
with one
then
count
it
of
would be fine.
guilty to speeding, maybe.
What?
Ms. Phillips, one of us may be confused on this, because I show that you had a 2019 TR 1413. You were operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. That charge was dismissed in exchange for your plea of guilty to speeding.
No.
Well, that's what your record says. And
No.
that's what I'm thinking, that maybe you're running the two together. But anyway, Mr.
I
Regier,
never,
did you come
I
up
never
with the
pled
other-
on that case.
All right, well, maybe you were found guilty at trial, but it looks like you
No,
pled.
it never went to trial. Mr. Reiger was supposed to wipe that one and the other one off because it was obvious that it wasn't me. I have never lived in Topeka in my life.
All right.
That's
I
the one
need
you're talking about.
Mr. Regier, I'm ready to go to trial.
Your Honor,
Are you
the,
ready?
Your Honor, I believe the court had previously made reference to Butler County 19 TR 1413. The state's records indicate that there was a plea of guilty in 2019 to one count of speeding. And the state, what I would also tell the court is in the current case, actually on the docket today, 23 TR 3395, the state is prepared to proceed to trial.
All right.
And Your Honor, as a preliminary matter, is the court finding that the defendant has revoked her waiver of counsel in light of the statements on the record?
Well, I tell you, we've been all over the board on that, Miss Phillips.
I don't even have the 19.
Miss Phillips,
Yes,
final, this is your final answer that I'm wanting here. We're
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
stick with it. Are you waiving your right to an attorney
No,
or
ma'am,
are
I'm
you
not.
not?
No,
All
ma'am.
right, now, you said you've talked to attorneys, none of them will take your case in
Yes,
Butler
ma'am.
County. What can you tell me that will be different if I continue this to allow you to find an attorney if none of them will work in Butler County?
I'm gonna go across the street and speak with the one attorney that I haven't spoken with. And we'll, I'm sorry,
Who will that be?
Gail Jensen.
Does he expect you today?
No, ma'am, he does not.
And do you have any reason to believe he would take your case? Because I understood he was retired or trying to be retired.
Can I give you a guarantee that he will?
I'm not asking
take
for
my
a
case?
guarantee. I said, do you have reason to believe he'll take your case?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Yeah, oh, yes, ma'am. I do.
Okay, you have a history or something that may, with him that makes you think that?
Yes, ma'am.
And what if he says no, then what will you do?
Well, then I will get a recommendation from him. And if I show up next time without an attorney, well, then you can just throw me in jail.
Miss Phillips, I just have a hard time believing.
Ma'am, I am frustrated by this whole thing. The whole thing. Mr. Ryder, I don't know what this 19 case is, where I supposedly pled guilty to
Oh, you're not
speeding.
gonna have a conversation with him.
None of this makes any
Oh.
sense to me. Oh, my
Miss Phillips,
gosh. I have to,
I really don't want to have that officer take you out to the jail, but
it ain't gonna happen.
oh, it might. Okay. Now, Mr. Regier, we've been at this for so long now. Looks like the original case was open November 16th of 23, but the ticket was issued November 8th of 23. And I'm not sure if this is the first time Trooper Kane has been subpoenaed in here or not. Because we
But I
did
would-
have,
What I would tell the court, Your Honor, is that today's setting does appear to be the first bench trial setting in this matter.
all right. So are you not objecting to the continuance? Or were you just stating a fact?
The state is merely stating a fact, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have an objection?
Your Honor, I think the court has already made its concerns about the age of this case and timely reaching a disposition. It would appear the defendant has made certain statements about, I guarantee, to use her words, that she will have Mr. Jensen represent him in this case. I have no personal knowledge to any communications they may not have. But again, in light of the age of the case, as well as the defendant's statements on the record, the state does believe a timely administration of justice is especially appropriate in this matter. And The state did issue its subpoenas for the presence of the officer. The officer has taken time out of his schedule to appear here today. And absent any other concerns the court may have, I will tell the court the state is prepared to proceed to trial. But again, acknowledging a defendant's right to counsel in these types of situations, but I'm not sure how the court wishes to reconcile that in light of the prior procedural history of this case and the statements made by the defendant on the record here today.
Well, I don't want to repeat. If I continue this, I don't want to repeat it today. I don't want to hear Miss Phillips. I want you, I don't want you to come in and use the excuse that no attorney will come to Butler County because they do it all the time. I know they will. And I don't want you to sign a waiver. I don't want you to tell me you waive and then you take it back. You either are going to, this is your last chance, you're either going to get an attorney or we're going to proceed because you have had since 2023 to get an attorney. And you said you have the money to do it. You said you don't want to use a court-appointed attorney. You said something about last time. You didn't apparently like the results of the last court-appointed attorney, maybe. But I'm not quite sure I'm catching everything you're throwing out there. So at this time, very reluctantly, I will continue this bench trial. Because yes, you're entitled to have an attorney, but you are not entitled to use it willy-nilly back and forth to delay proceedings or anything of that sort. So, Jenna, when's our next available bench trial?
Your Honor, I have July 16th.
Okay. We'll put it on July 16th at 1:30.
Your Honor.
Yes,
The
Michelle.
defendant is holding some paperwork in her hands. Can she read the case number off of that? I don't know if she's referring to the same case about being arrested.
Oh, okay. Do you have another case you've been here on besides the two we've mentioned today, Ms. Phillips?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's that case number?
Yep, bear with me, please.
Sure.
Sorry, bear with me, please.
Your Honor, while she's looking, the 16th of July will not be good for me.
Okay, thank you for telling me then.
Anytime after.
All right. Jenna, that we can't do that. If you can give me another date, please.
Oh, we can do July 23rd as well, Your Honor.
Will that work?
Yes,
Will
ma'am.
that work? All right. Ms. Phillips?
Yes, ma'am.
Please take note. Please take note. Disregard July 16th and take note.
Okay.
Your trial will be July 23rd at 1:30.
Okay.
All right. And at this time, I'm going to let you go, Trooper, unless for some reason you particularly want to stay around.
I appreciate it, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
So this chat box
I
right
believe
here
this is
feeds
case
this,
number 23 TR
and they're different.
2386.
Oh, that
I believe.
They're different. They're in different orders, and it's the same one.
I don't know why that does not show up on the Odyssey history, but
The-
that sounds more like the time frame of when you were here before.
And Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Regier.
what I do show from my notes is that that case was last taken up by the court on December 11th, 2024. And the court did remove that case from the docket at the state's request.
Okay, and was that the speeding one?
No, that one was back
know.
in 2019. The one he's talking about was in 23, and that was speeding 91 in a 75, no insurance.
Yeah, because that was the one that,
And no driver's license
Yeah,
from
that
July
was the
12th
one-
to 23.
yes, ma'am, because that was the one that wasn't me, because I have never not had a driver's license. I've always had one. That was the one that was supposed to have been dropped because
Well,
it's
and
not me.
And that's another one that on August 26th of 24, you failed to appear and a $2,000 cash or surety bench warrant was issued.
Yes, ma'am, because it's not me. Quite
right.
obviously.
All right.
Because on the warrant, there's a description
Your Honor,
of who they were looking for.
date of birth on this citation for that case that
Your
we're.
Honor, state would object at this time. This is being broadcast over YouTube. The state would have certain concerns about broadcasting personally identifiable information.
Gonna say the year.
Error, error, error.
I'm sorry, Michelle, what was that?
The year of birth on this is 2000.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
So
would
you're
make her 25.
Are you saying on the 23 case?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably why the state dismissed it. And now we've got this case.
Okay, so
The
is
23 case is still pending.
It is still pending. Does it have a docket date?
No.
All right, Mr. Regier, what's the state planning to do with that case? Are you dismissing it?
Your Honor,
Trying?
Your Honor, the state is still in the process of reviewing that case. What I would tell the court is, per the state's request at the last hearing in that case, the state did request that that matter be specifically taken off the court's docket, and the court did grant that request.
Well, you may be looking at speedy trial on the 23 case. But I do know that the defendant had several, as I was looking at the docket notes, she did have at least a couple of failures to appear. And I remember she herself was here telling the court that it was not her. Well, Mr. Regier, we can't just leave the case sitting in limbo. We need to either get it on the docket or get it dismissed. What do you want to do?
One moment, Your Honor.
We could set it on that same docket that we're setting this one, July 23rd, if you want. And then we can resolve it one way or another.
No objection to setting that case on that same date if that is the court's order, Your Honor.
Okay, so Miss Phillips, you might tell Mr. Jensen we have two cases on that docket.
Yep.
Give him that 23 case, and I'm going to set that for trial too, Mr. Regier. So have your witnesses ready for that if you're going to go to trial. And let's see, do we have the defendant on? Let's see. Let me check one other matter.
Okay, so the 23, I'm sorry, the 23 case, when you say 23, you mean 23 TR 2386? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently when it was taken off the docket, the state did not put it back on the docket, and it's just been kind of sitting out there.
Okay.
Running the clock, as they say. So
So
I'm going
this,
to put it.
I'm sorry.
I'm putting it on July 26th or 23rd at 1:30 also.
Okay, so was this failure to appear on that speeding?
You've had failures to appear on both of the pending cases. In this case that we came to report on today, 23 TR 3395.
Yeah, that was the one I was never served a subpoena on, because I showed up, I was here on the date on the ticket.
Hold up. I'm gonna answer your question.
Yes, ma'am.
September 4th, 2024, you failed to appear for first appearance at a bench warrant issued. Then you were present January 8th, 2025, and that's when there was a discussion about you would hire an attorney, etc. So you had one failure to appear
Well, I
there.
think
Now, then March 17th, we set it for bench trial. So you had one failure to appear, it looks like in this case. Now, if you go back to that 23,
Ma'am, I'm sorry, interrupt
oh,
you.
wait a minute. I'm gonna answer your
Okay.
question and you're gonna give me time to do it. BU 2023 TR. In the 2023 TR 2386, a suspension notice, by the way, was sent to Kansas Department of Revenue, so you better be checking your license before you drive. I don't know how you came to court today, but don't go driving if your license is suspended, as it looks like it probably is. Now, in that case, you were charged and are still charged with speeding 91 in a 75, driving without insurance, and driving without a license on January or July the 12th of 23. And then the failures to appear included March 15th of 24, or I'm sorry, straight, March 25th of 2024, you failed to appear and a bench warrant was ordered. July 3rd, 24, you were here, said you were going to hire an attorney. We set the matter for August 26th. August 26th, you failed to appear a second time and another bench warrant with an increased bond. Then December 11th, 2024, the case was called. And I don't have any indication that you or your attorney were here. And that's the hearing where Assistant County Attorney Jared Regier asked that we remove it from that day's docket. And apparently it just, as I said, just kind of has been hanging around out there ever since. So I'm putting it back on the docket. I'm setting it for trial the same day as the other case. And so with that being said, now then, Ms. Phillips, what did you want to say?
I honestly don't even remember, Your Honor.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay, well then I don't think we have anything else we need to take up today. Anything else, Mr. Regier?
From the state's perspective, Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
Sure.
this is Jenna and Destiny. Can I have a breakout room with you and Mr. Regier real quick?
Before I adjourn?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll do a sidebar, basically. Well, it's not a sidebar if the defendant's not there. It's not an appropriate one. All right, let's take a quick one, but I'm. Is it concerning this case?
It is, there's a few issues, Your Honor, and I believe that they need to be taken up in a breakout room instead of.
Well, I'm not comfortable with that because the defendant has a right to be present at all stages of the proceedings. So I think you may have to just go out on a limb and state what it is that, because if it concerns this case, I can't have any one-sided conversations without both parties.
Well, it concerns the 2023-2386, not necessarily the case we have on the docket today.
Well, I still have the same rules for that case as I do for this one.
And Your Honor.
A judge can't have one-sided conversations with one party over the other. And I know, Mr. Regier, you wouldn't do that either. So what is your thought, Mr. Regier?
Mr.
Your Honor.
I know what his thought is. His thought is on this matter. Happy birthday, Jen. That's his thought. Happy birthday, Jen.
May I request a brief 5-minute recess?
All right, I'll give you a 5-minute recess.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We're back on the record in 23 TR 3395, also 23 TR 2386, each captioned State of Kansas versus Tracy Lynn Phillips. Jared Regier still appearing for the state. Tracy Lynn Phillips still appearing in person and pro se. Mr. Regier, you wanted a recess. Is there any announcement at this time?
Your Honor, at this juncture, the state does not believe that a sidebar would be appropriate. While the court clerk is certainly can provide whatever information the court clerk may wish to the court, the state understands that the court clerk is not a party to this case, and therefore the state, and under these particular circumstances, the state does not believe a sidebar would be procedurally appropriate.
All right. So is there anything else we need to address, Mr. Regier, before we adjourn for
Not
the
from,
day?
not from the state's perspective, Your Honor.
Ms. Phillips, anything else we need to address before we adjourn for today?
No, ma'am. I do believe
No.
and I will be back with an attorney. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
We are adjourned.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I could stay and talk with you.
Well, depends on what it's about, but
I
yeah.
understand. Yeah, I can say it here. That's perfectly fine. I'm not sure. Are we still
Barb?
doing the 2023 case 2386 on the same date as well?
Yes.
Okay. I only have a problem with that as the defendant does not match, not by description of driver's license.
Well, we'll bring that up, but that'll be a trial issue then.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be an issue for trial if the.
And it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, may I withdraw from the Zoom conference?
I think we all can. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Your Honor.
I put the link in chat. I put it in chat. I'm going to put it in chat again. He has more. He has more, Webster. This is the one we saw, but that's not the one I was going to play. So, if you look, he has them all. He has everybody. Everybody. So, anyway, I'm not muted. Oh, Jen, it's her birthday. It's her birthday. I hope she gets cake. I hope you get to eat cake. Chocolate cake. I hope you don't have to blow out 100 candles, though. I hope they only put one candle on your cake. I hate when people put a whole bunch of candles on my cake. All right. I'm going to set up OJ. And there's not going to be a stream later on today. That was for the firing squad guy, and screw him. So, thank you so much for coming out today, guys. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I shall see you again real soon. Have a great day. Bye, guys.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright, she's got that grace. Come join the fun, it's a welcome and play. I and see